If you have lived in this world for any amount of time and walked in any sort of real relationships with anybody, you've probably come to the conclusion that everybody's pretty messed up, that this world is pretty broken. Maybe you don't get that on the Sunday morning, how you doing, fine, fine world, but if you really dig in, people are hurting. People are broken. People in this room are hurting and are broken. And if I'm really honest, I'm kind of a mess too in certain areas of my life, and there's something about me that wants to not say that I want you to think that I have all my stuff together, or that because I hit rock bottom 4 years ago, that my healing would look very linear and upward, that there would be some sort of, well, yeah, that slimy pit is behind me, and the further I go chronologically, the further I get from that slimy pit. And really the picture that God gave me recently was my life as a flowery meadow, tropical, lush, beautiful garden, and I'm walking on my path in this beautiful garden. And it's beautiful. There's been a lot of healing and a lot of restoration, a lot of redemption. But as you pan the camera back, what you see just to my right, about 2 feet away, is a cliff with a slimy pit at the bottom of that cliff. And I really think no matter how far away I am from healing or rock bottom, that I am a step and a half away from the pit again. So that's kind of where I want to start, is that we are a mess. So as we walk this journey out with each other, I think it has become very clear to me, God's plan set out in Revelation 12, that the enemy ultimately will be defeated by His grace through the blood of the Lamb and the word of our testimony, the story of His redemption through our brokenness. And I've seen over and over that's how it works. And I want to illustrate that for you with a movie clip that I'm just going to spend a lot of time setting up, and then we're going to see it and then wrap up afterwards. So the movie is Hunger Games, which is a kind of post-apocalyptic story of an enemy who controls the people through power and fear. Now there's an uprising, and the rebellion has begun, and they want a girl named Katniss Everdeen to be the face of their revolution. Katniss isn't so sure. Katniss has kind of become the face of hope for all the people who have been oppressed by the enemy, but she's not so sure. So what the leaders of the rebellion want to do is they want to try to awaken her heart. And so what they're going to do is they're going to throw her into a messy situation and see what happens, and hope that some things start to bubble up. And so she is flown into a district where they've just been totally decimated by the enemy. They've just been bombed into oblivion, and she goes to visit a makeshift hospital where people are bloody, sawed in half, exploded, wounded, crying, wailing, dying, and she's supposed to bring hope. And they're also going to video what happens, because they're hoping to catch some really cool moments and use it for a propaganda film that they're going to show to everyone in hopes to stir up an uprising against the evil, power-hungry, fear-mongering capital, the enemy. So as she comes on the scene, when I was in the theater watching this movie, and there's 3 questions that get asked of her. And as I was watching it, I was thinking, this is like real life. This is what happens when you start to journey with someone for real. And we were just talking in the other room about all these grand words like hope and grace and brokenness. Those are fun to talk about, But when it gets right down to the nitty-gritty, how does that look in real life? How do you really walk with somebody? How do you really meet someone at rock bottom and attempt to journey with them? And the 3 questions that get asked of Katniss, I think, are really questions that we want to kind of have an answer to if we're really going to walk in real community with other people. The first question she gets asked is, are you alive? They didn't know if she was alive or not. They had seen this thing blow up on TV and they weren't sure if she was alive. So the first question that she gets asked is, are you alive? And obviously she is. But I think that's really the question that people ask of us as, is this guy for real? Have you really awoken to the gospel that Kevin talked about, where we haven't settled just for get our ticket punched to heaven and we get some rules to follow? And that's kind of the gospel that I found at a young age and just kind of caught. I don't think anyone ever told me that, but that's what I kind of caught. Have you given up on a system of bondage that we like to call religion, where there's a formula of A plus B so that God will love you, C plus D so that God will accept you? Have you fallen for that? Because I did for a long time. Do you believe that it's really not about what you do for God, but what God has done for you? And that's it. That's the gospel. And when your heart comes alive, people can see it. And when someone wants to journey with you, they want to know, are you real? Are you going to give me some verses to follow and then not really journey with me? Are you alive? Do you have the good news? And that's what Jerry invited you to think about. The good news is you are righteous and you are loved and you are accepted right now in your deepest, darkest pit. And the irony is the belief that that's true is actually what lifts you out in the first place. It's not just a cure, it's an antidote. That's pretty heavy if you think about it. The second question that she's asked, and really there's too much of the story to unpack, but someone kind of asked her, what about the baby? And the heart behind the question is simply, do you know pain? Do you know loss? Have you suffered? Because if I'm suffering, I need to know that I can trust you with my heart, that you know what it's like to be in the pit, that you know what it's like to experience pain, that you know what it's like to experience loss, that you know what it's like to suffer. And until people see your brokenness, it's really, really difficult for anyone to trust you. At the same time, when you show your brokenness, and honestly, I didn't know this until I started doing it. When you pull down your pants metaphorically and you expose yourself, people will flock to you because they know you're safe. And they know when they sit across from you, this guy knows where I'm at. This guy knows what I'm going through. And I tell you what, no one knows that about you unless you talk about it, unless you're willing to expose the broken places that you've been or where you're at. So do you know pain? We're suffering. Have you suffered like us in District 8? I fully believe that that's part of the healing process, is going back to our wounds. Have you tasted the poison? Have you gone back and tasted the poison so that grace can fully heal it? Think about that one. Because we spent a lot of life not wanting to go back, not wanting to revisit. Jerry talked about that. Talked to a guy last night right here. Man, spent a long time, a lot of brain energy went into forgetting that, to not ever remembering. But I truly believe, guys, that is the healing path, to go back and drink the poison that wounded us in order that grace may fully heal it. Have you done that? Until you do, people that are in that spot will find it hard to really, really open up to you. And then the third question she's asked is, will you help us? You know, we're obviously in trouble here. Will you help us? Are you really willing to journey with me? Is this more than just some obligation? Check out Thursday morning, you guys meet. Is this more than just, I show up here on Thursday morning because that's what men who are in a congregation do. We show up for a men's meeting. And I really got my own stuff going on, and I'm not really willing to journey with you because it gets messy. It can get really, really messy. Are you really here for that? Are you checking me off your list of, I got to call that guy, I got to check in with him, see how he's doing, I don't want to. Will you really take my call at 2 in the morning? Will you really respond when it gets messy and I feel needy? And I don't want to burden you, but it's real. I'm hurting. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to walk with us? After the clip, we'll talk about her response too, by the way. Are you alive? Have you been wounded? Have you been hurt? And have you gone back to that wound? Do you know what it's like to feel pain? Are you here to help us? Are you really here? What are your motives? What are the motives of your heart? Are you here because you're paid to do this? Isn't that the kind of the question when you meet with a counselor? It's like, this is your job. And it's good, you're doing it, but there's a question of heart motive. Or, lay counseling with pastors. It's like, part of their contract is they do 10 hours of lay counseling per week with people. Are you really here to help us? What is your heart motive? Pay special attention to what Katniss says as she's being thrust into the makeshift hospital. There's a couple of things that really get me in there. At the beginning, she says, don't send me in there. I can't help them. Kevin, don't send me up there. I can't help. I don't have anything to say. Just let them see your face. Let them see your heart. And somehow, your willingness to show your heart gives them courage. When she's asked, are you here to fight with us? She kind of stumbles. I am. I will. Because her heart hasn't been awakened yet. A few minutes later, she gets the opportunity to unleash part of her arsenal on the enemy. And her heart is awakened. And you know what happens to everybody in the hospital? They're blown to smithereens. And yet, that's the start of the revolution. That's the start of the uprising. Beauty from the ashes. And that's how God works. So whether it's your family, your kids, the guys in your men's group, one guy who takes a risk and says, hey man, I'm hurting. I heard you know what that's like. Bring your alive heart. Bring your wounded and broken heart. And bring your willing heart. And you may just incite a revolution.